Yo, what's up, swag gang? You already know what time it is, man. It's your boy Keon Lar, aka KL Swag, back here with a video, man. Look, man, we about to react to Urinating Tree. Yes, bro, this is something different for you guys, bro. I know some of you guys like baseball. I know some of you guys play baseball. I played baseball. I was really good at baseball, bro. I played outfield, bro. I played a little shortstop here and there. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I was really doing my thing, bro. Got a couple home runs too, you know. But look, man, we are back here again with Urinating Tree, bro. The Haters Guide to 2021 MLB season, bro. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and let's just get into the reaction. Oh,
baseball is in an extremely dangerous situation heading into the 2021 season. Last year was rough, and the league admitted to losing over $3 billion by simply playing games.
Damn!
The chasm between the players' union and owners is widening as they can't agree on anything of note. The league's CBA expires after this season, and there's a chance a work stoppage could be in play. It honestly sucks, and I don't know if we'll be getting a good ending out of this in a year or so. This is when I just want to unplug from the world and relax with my everyday E25s from Raycon, the sponsor of today's video. I can do a few chores, get some exercise in, perhaps try and practice yoga. Very, very poorly. As bad as I look doing it, my ears feel guaranteed. You can even save 15% off your order by going to buyraycon.com/viewtree.
The
short-term future of baseball might be in question, but Raycons are as reliable as can be. Same goes for the 30 teams trying to win a World Series this season. They are as follows. I know they're still in the middle of a massive rebuild, but they're throwing over half of their current payroll into a literal crater on Utah Street.
Okay.
There's also Chris Davis somewhere in the corner wondering if he will ever be set free from this hell. Sorry, man, Angelos is still a cheap fucking going to keep you down there for a bit. In the meantime, here are some promising prospects on the horizon. And here are Matt Harvey and King Felix to serve as placeholders for the time being. And here is Trey Mancini teabagging cancer. Good for that dude. Fuck cancer. Just keep showing improvements and you'll be fine. I'm more bullish on them than certain prediction models, I'll say.
Okay.
The greatest threat to a man in his power is not his rivals coming to undercut him. It's in the king growing so fat and content with it that he grows weak with corpulence.
Damn!
The Red Sox of the past 2 years have undergone a massive payroll cut. And it showed in their on-field product.
Bro, how the Red Sox even been
There wasn't
that
much
damn
done
good
in terms
anymore?
to fix such pitching woes, barring a mid-tier pickup and a revived Garrett Richards. The team is pretty
Damn,
much
he
on
signed
its own.
$10 million?
Kike Hernandez is a postseason hero in LA, but unless he can magically revive JD Martinez's bat, it may not happen here.
Oh.
Maybe Alex Cora can. Yeah, he's back. He doesn't have the same sheen on him, but this car still has that World Series ring, baby. In an economic downturn on the baseball diamond, there is still one thing we can rely on.
Damn, he
Yankees
hits the
doing
ball
everything
like
they
me,
can
bro.
to get back to the World Series. Bringing back DJ LeMahieu and his reliable bat was a critical component of the offseason. And by God, they accomplished that goal. The Pinstripes need more pitching as arms either decline, retire, aren't as good as advertised, or go back to Japan. The Yankees brought more of them in, albeit those of the risky variety. Corey Kluber and Jamison Tyone, both outstanding talents, but both coming off major injury. Speaking of returns, the organization's facing Brett Gardner is back too. I shouldn't need to lecture more about expectations in the Bronx. They know damn well what mountain they need to climb. After their impeccable World Series run, I expected more baffling decisions to come from the front office that will somehow work out in their favor in the future. On that front, it was at least predictable. It still wouldn't prepare me for what was to come. Blake Snell was not only inexplicably pulled out of Game 6, the team yanked him out and sent him on his way to San Diego. There was also that iffy situation with Randy Arozarena, but that at least seems to have been cleared up for now. Here's the thing with all of this. They got a nice return for Snell. Luis Patino is considered to be one of the best pitching prospects in baseball. Unrelated, Wander Samuel Franco is very close to being ready for big league action. They still have an army of interchangeable assets that will make the team competitive, which means that Chris Archer will somehow return to old form to hoodwink the Pirates in a trade again. I think they'll be around for a while to come. I'm more surprised how long
that's my type of hit right there.
This is their time. The Blue Jays have toiled in the depths of a youth movement for the past few years, and now is their chance to strike. And in this offseason, they will splurge on the big prizes. For their newest cornerstone, they took a vital organ of the Astro machine, George Springer. For that price, he'll need some reinforcement. And that will come in the form of Marcus Semien. Kirby Yates on a buy low deal provides high reward for moderate risk. In a division that's always cutthroat, Toronto will be eager to get off the ground running with their burgeoning core. And if they're lucky, they can go back to their home city to play games sometime in the future. For now, though, it's a temp stay in Florida. Hopefully not for too long. You just can't deprive Canadians of Bichette and Guerrero. Last year showed that the White Sox were ever so close to achieving the next echelon.
Bro,
in their
urinated tree
performance.
stupid, bro.
All they needed were a few more moving parts and a new manager to take them over the top. Southside has the youth to bring in the crowds.
Okay.
Menez, Robert, Moncada, Tim Anderson.
Oh,
It'll
yeah.
be a fun team to watch, but to become true World Series
yeah.
contenders, they will need to solidify the depth. Liam Hendricks may have taken a piece of them last year, but he was paid handsomely for his services here. Lance Lynn was brought in from Texas to bolster the rotation. Adam Eaton is back after an exodus to Washington. And for the manager, they got a man of the future. Tony La Russa? They brought in that fossil? The guy who hasn't managed in over a decade? Did not see how awful his executive tenure with the Diamondbacks was?
Bro, he's cracking on
Good team.
everybody.
Fuck it, Reinsdorf just wants a cigar, buddy. I don't give a shit what they're calling themselves nowadays. This team is fucking dead to me.
Damn.
Nothing but choke away countless prime opportunities, and when push comes to shove, team ownership doesn't want to pay anything to keep the talent they have. What we all saw coming for a few years finally
That boy
happened.
clean.
Francisco Lindor is gone.
He's clean.
Carlos Carrasco went with him as well. The problem for me isn't in the trade. There's a good chance Andres Gimenez is going to be really, really good. Ahmed Rosario still has pedigree. The team is littered with pitching talent. But what's to stop me from thinking that they're going to be traded in 5 years once they demand real money? The formerly Indians now have one of the lowest payrolls in baseball. And it shows in their inactivity in the market. So when do we start putting trade watches on Bieber and Ramirez?
That's cash.
This team is still trying to figure out what to do or where the hell to go. It's been 3 years since the start of the rebuild, for Christ's sake. Choose a direction and stick with it. I know they have some guys on the way, but this is the part of the rebuild where we need to start seeing some progress. Barring a miracle, it probably isn't this year, but there is some semblance of hope for once. A new wave of prospects are coming up to get their first test in the show. More veteran placeholders are filling out the lineup. And our old friend AJ Hinch begins his redemption tour for the crime which shall not be named. To be honest, if the Tigers tried to steal signs electronically, it wouldn't be as game-breaking. Might actually make them competitive. The AL Central's other rebuild is also starting to get to the point where we need to start seeing some results. But they've at least had some more youth emerge onto the big league club.
Okay.
Also, like that Tigers team, they're bringing in placeholders in certain spots to make sure the prospects aren't getting rushed.
Bringing
Today's
a bunch of
recipients
talent
of
on
a
that
decent
team,
payday
bro.
are Mike Minor and Carlos Santana.
Oh, yeah.
Had good seasons as of late,
Santana.
but dipped a bit in 2020. If you're the optimistic type, maybe you hope Andrew Benintendi can revive to what was once his promise. Either way, the key for the Royals is simple. Development. They need more of it. You don't want to be drifting nowhere for years. Just ask Detroit. I told you back in October, you'll get the rest of your logo back when you win a playoff game. To me, Minnesota is a wild card in and of itself. There are a good bit of question marks in regards to the team. Josh Donaldson and Byron Buxton. Can they stay healthy enough to make a true impact? Will then Colton Simmons and Jay Happ be able to bounce back to old form? Can Nelson Cruz continue to defy time itself to hit a metric barrage of bombs? Goal for them is consistency. And it's sadly something they've lacked a decent bit of over the past few years. When they click, they're an excellent club. But when they don't, it's the equivalent of cock and ball torture. Nothing but a tease. Change that this year, will ya? At least you aren't the Texans.
Asteroids.
Unlike those two moribund groups, the Astros still have shards of optimism.
The
floating
Astros.
around. It might have been the young pitching stepping up in a big way during the postseason last year. And they still have a decent farm system, so they can take advantage of a weak division if they're good.
Okay.
Here's where I must tell the unfortunate Astros fans watching that they lost one of their franchise cornerstones in George Springer. They paid a shit ton in Toronto and left for maple-laden pastures. I mean, they did get Michael Brantley back. That has to at least stand for something. They'll need pieces to step up to fill some big shoes, though. Losing the likes of Springer and Verlander are massive, and their presence on the field will be sorely missed. Not only that, but they're already starting to get hit with injuries to the pitching staff. If Framber Valdez is gone for the season, we will know the debt still hasn't been paid. Okay, Angels, your goal for the offseason was to bring in pitching. Most of it was abysmal or injured last year, and they can't just rely on Shohei Ohtani rising like a phoenix. Let's see here. Raisel Iglesias, good option for the bullpen. Jose Quintana and Alex Cobb. That's about it. I'm sorry, boys. You needed to do a hell of a lot more than that to fix things up. What else am I supposed to get optimistic about here? Bringing in Dexter Fowler? You've been blessed with a generational talent.
Who is that?
An elite third baseman, another top prospect in Joe Adell, and meme lord David Fletcher, yet I have no optimism for it. Not with how questionable the pitching still is. If they can get it together there, they should have a shot at winning the division, but that's more on hopes and prayers at this point forward. Perhaps there's a chance Albert Pujols will return to old form in what could be his final year as well. Oh, before I forget, they even have a legend on the coaching staff now.
Ooh.
Dick Mick. There are still plenty of questions lingering about the A's, both on and off the field. The whole offseason was dogged with rumors and speculation about everything under the sun. Will Matt Chapman be traded? Is Billy Beane going to leave the organization? What does the future hold for the franchise in Oakland?
They need him.
Now we can say it was a mixed bag.
They need him.
Red Ball Fenway deal fell through, so Beane will be staying put as the team saw. Matt Chapman was not traded yet, and both of those are good. The Howard Terminal Stadium proposal is starting to get legs under it, so the team may have long-term stability here. Yet for this offseason, they did the bare minimum. Replaced Hendricks and Semien with cheaper options, but that's about it. Nothing against revived Rosenthal and Toronto hero Elvis Andrews, but they just feel like downgrades. The A's will still be competitive, but such is life for a small market club. They're still rebuilding, and Seattle is hoping that a flood of elite prospects come up and bring them new life. Jerry Kelenic, Julio Rodriguez, and Logan Gilbert will hopefully get big league action sooner rather than later. Some of the trades they've made over the past year, there's just more options for them to try out. And look at that, James Paxton is back in the fold after a mixed stint in pinstripes. Welcome home, James. Even better, Mitch Haniger is finally healthy again. Things are starting to look up for the Mariners. I know what you're asking. Where's the dick punch? This is usually the part where you make some stale comment about old narratives that never stick. You see, I would say that, but I think Kevin Mather did that far better than I could dream of doing. Kevin, when you're on a public call, it's best not to say the shit you're not supposed to say out loud. Manipulating service time and depressing player salaries, cocky as hell, but every team does it. Do they gloat about it to a Rotary Club? Fuck no! Do they go out and whine about a $75,000 expense for a translator? Yeah, no, Kevin. The organization can save money by you getting the fuck out as well. Bitch about Kel Seeger's salary all you want, but guess who gave him that contract? That's right, you!
Bro, urinating tree is going stupid, bro. Oh my god.
It'd be wise to keep quiet and focus on the baseball. I'm just wondering what unwritten rule that this team is going to whine about next. Nobody likes a snitch. Especially when it's for arbitrary shit like Fernando Tatis hitting dongs. Signs are pointing to it being another rough year in Arlington. It's tough to explain. They're trying to rebuild by not really rebuilding. They'll demand way too much for their players, have their trade values tank, and then ship them off past peak. Just ask Miner and Len about that. At the very least, Texas could get a good bit of bounce-back performances from free agents like David Dahl and Mike Fultonevich. Guys like Willie Calhoun and Rougned Odor can return to old form. And at this rate, it's all the Rangers can hope for. No league-wide embarrassments this time, please. I know the joking memes. I enjoy them as much as any shit poster, but I'm pretending to be serious with this shit. So that means I have to ask how this team will improve from last season. Marcelo Zuna is back, which is excellent. Yes! If the NL still has the We're gonna have to play him in a corner outfield spot. Not terrible, but not ideal. Brown Chuck is coming back for a homecoming tour. Charlie Morton is the new veteran presence the Braves need to get the young arms up and running. Same goes for Drew Smyly. But $11 million? Okay, well, we all know the great talent the Braves have in the hitting core. But the young pitching is still unproven or coming back from serious injury in the case of Mike Soroka. They're a question, but an intriguing one. Now go try and overcome some demons. Let's get one thing clear. The Marlins punched well above their weight.
Marlins need me to play.
The NL East was a trash heap on top of trash heaps. The resilience that they showed despite the team being wrecked by COVID early on is something out of a Disney movie. However, I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon that this team is going to suck. I think they still have a fighting chance to compete in a cutthroat division, and I know that's a bold statement to say, but I like the burgeoning core. Starting pitching looks damn solid. It's a big ask, but the key once again is in player development. It showed strides last year, and if they can get another year like last season, it might work out in their favor. Just a hunch. Daddy Steve is home. After a hard day of running hedge funds and a brief stint on Twitter, he sits back in his rocking chair, puffs a cigar, and reads the evening paper. The New York Mets, his pride and joy, are entering a new age. No longer will they be the staple of the funny pages, but something that can make the Big Apple proud. The offseason wasn't as great as fans were hoping. Only the greatest gawk tease Trevor Bauer has ever done, but I wouldn't say a haul of Lindor, Carrasco, and James McCann is one to scoff at. Just look at Lindor. This dude was born to be a Met. He looks perfect in the orange and blue. It just feels freeing. Can't rely on
good, bro.
means
I'm
for
not
the
gonna lie, he
time
looks
being.
kind of sexy.
And your executive branch can't either. Good old Jared Porter. The GM
Looks
stick
good in
was far
blue.
too short. Just like something else you have. But that's not for me to judge. I'm here for the
But that
Mets.
blue is sexy,
When I think
bro.
about their new age, I'm reminded of the words of Mr. Porter.
Looks good on that
This
dude,
woman
bro.
hasn't responded to my
And
last
nice
60
ass hair,
texts.
nice flowing
I should
hair.
send her a pic of my penis. Phillies fans, welcome to the Dave Dombrowski Hour. Team
Hey.
ownership may have pledged to shed payroll this offseason, but that statement is
$100
bullshit.
$100
You know
million?
why? Dave Dombrowski. He will use Jedi mind tricks to convince ownership to spend on bolstering the team. Everyone was afraid of JT Realmuto and Didi Gregorius leaving? Well, they
Didi
were brought back with
Gregorius?
some of the finest splurgings in recent memory.
Weird ass name.
Phillies actually did shit with the bullpen. They aren't the premium names, but they may not have to rely on the Hector Neris matinee every goddamn night.
Damn.
That's a step in the right direction. And if we are to go on the Dombrowski timeline, it will help this team at least reach a World Series, and then the team goes into a tailspin as suspension for sacrificing the future for now burns them in the long run.
Ooh.
This is the cost of dealing with Dave. Have fun. After last season's slow deflating death, the Nationals needed a
Trash.
soft reset. The
Trash.
moves they made, they might have done so. And apparently the answer is in poaching the Rust Belt. Former Chicago
I swear,
Cubs and
baseball
John
players, all
Lester,
they do
Jeremy
is chew
Jeffers,
on
and
gum,
Kyle
bro.
Schwarber, come on
Chew
down.
gum and do
Right
dip.
hand to replace Sean Doolittle. Cleveland hates him, so it works out in their favor. Josh Bell, that dude hit like Ryan Zimmerman for 2 months. He can get it back again. Even for their new moves, most of their team is pretty damn old. I'm gonna guess that Scherzer will beat the shit out of a few people and everyone is back in their primes. I can sadly see that happening. At least on the mound.
Oh.
If I have to hear this team
Cubs,
cry poor
okay.
about their finances one more fucking time, I'm going to lose it. Oh no, not the luxury tax! Whatever will we do if the Cubbies can't get fans into Wrigley? I know what, trade you Darvish! Yes, because shipping off one of the best starters you have just for the sake of it is sure to get you brownie points with the fan base. Oh, but wait, they planned for this. You know who's coming back? Jake Arrieta. He's a shell of his former self, but what about the fields?
That boy be
The
throwing
defenseless
heat.
Kyle Schwarber and his power is gone too bad. They brought in Jock
No,
Peterson,
Peterson.
who also hits home runs. This might be Chris Bryant's last season with the club, so we might as well cherish it, right? I'm sold on it
I
now.
swear,
The Cubs
Jock
are the Red
Peterson be
Sox
doing
with different
home
colors.
runs after home
They had their
runs,
moment
bro.
and now they're content with it. Result is shedding payroll to treat it as their 1985. I had a feeling that if the Reds were going to do anything, it would have been last season. They're
Yeah.
going for that push, and despite all efforts, they failed to score. They set records doing it. And now they get the rewards of losing their Cy Young pitcher, trading their closer, and deal with rumors of the team blowing it all up. Fortunately for Cincinnati, they didn't dismantle the whole damn thing, but questions still remain. To be fair, they did bring in Sean Doolittle, which will be great if he bounces back. I just don't know how you replace Trevor Bauer's production on the mound. You're hoping for some of the farm to pick up the slack, which they can, but do you really want to hope for that?
Ooh.
It's a big ask, especially with how the bat seemingly ran out of gas. The Brewers are in quite possibly the worst position for a team to be in. Limbo. They are competitive. When all things align, they can make a bit of a run, but in most regards, they're just average. Fortunately, the
He
NL
said they're
Central is
just
very
average.
weak, and Milwaukee is banking on it. Instead of focusing on the bats, they've chosen to cater to team defense. Wong, Jackie Bradley Jr.
Yes, sir.
are getting Lorenzo Kane back. Signs are seemingly pointing towards a push to a new inefficiency. But the Brew Crew will most likely be doing it without an old face. Ryan Braun. His contract expired and he's probably not coming back. I think the Jackie Bradley signing ended that. At least that whole Christian Yelich and Josh Hader to San Diego rumor did as well. That just didn't feel real whatsoever.
It didn't.
Oh boy, you guys, it's another season of Pirates baseball. You know what that means? It's time to blow the team out. To be honest, I agree with this, since they weren't going to win anything with the subpar group they have.
Oh, hell
They
no.
faced reality and not tried to be competitive like they were prone to idealize. Yes, I am building my shrine to Kumar Rocker.
Do they still have McCutcheon?
Hopefully we won't kill his arm in the minors.
Y'all let me know.
It's
Do
settled.
they still have
Bring
McCutcheon?
out the tanks. The long rebuild will commence. We're lucky it won't last 20 years again. You thought the immortal battery of Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina was finished in St. Louis? You're wrong, damn it. They're coming back for another ride.
Ooh.
The future is old and full of veteranosity. I'd say the bigger return is in Jordan Hicks, but that's just me. Although their true prize isn't in reunion, it's in the fortune of another organization's cheapness. Meet the new face of the Hot Corner Cardinals. His name is Nolan Arenado.
Oh.
His bat dipped a little bit last season, but that glove, man. You've got at least a couple years of prime production. Plus, it'll help with needing some extra oomph in the lineup. They need more than Goldschmidt carrying the bats. And Arenado will hopefully help out with that. The Cardinals know the NL Central is ripe for the taking, and they've made their move. Let's see if it pans out. Diamondbacks seem to be the unluckiest organization in baseball. When they try to tank, the team rallies and shows great promise. When they try to invest on that promise, the group falls to absolute shit and the contracts become liabilities. I only hope that Mad Bum isn't beginning a painful decline, but once again, they're in a tough position.
Yes,
they
sir.
don't have the horsepower to roll against the Padres or Dodgers. They're not bad enough to claim they're going to outright suck. They still have strong talents in the lineup, but I wonder if this is the part where management throws their hands in the air and sells more key assets. The majority of the hitting core is in their early 30s. You can tell Marte could net them an asset bonanza if they choose to trade him.
They might.
At this rate, I don't know what to do with them. It's obvious this team doesn't give a shit about anything besides the bottom line, so I won't give them much of the time of day either. Hey,
Don't.
St. Louis, would you like a third baseman on a Hall of Fame trajectory for next to nothing? Not sold? How about we give you $50 million to take him on? No, we insist. We'll just use it as a tax write-off for charitable donations. I expect the same thing to play out with Trevor's story later in the year. In the end, all this team will have is the biggest open bar in Denver. Fuck them. Hey, look at that! Ian Desmond opted out again! More money saved! After years of seemingly throwing money into a black hole of baseball contracts and development, they finally achieved the top prize in a World Series. But you know that getting just one of them isn't good enough. They need more.
Yeah.
What they did this offseason had proved their case.
Yeah.
They have one of the best pitching rotations in recent memory.
Hell
David
yeah.
Price is coming back into the fold after an
Don't
opt
strike
out.
me out.
Gobs of youth are knocking on the door nearly everywhere possible. So how can you make this even better? Why not a Cy Young winner? Trevor Bauer, after breaking the hearts of every Mets fan in existence, signed at a price that makes the modern man weep. It says something alarming about the current disparity in the league when he will be making more than the 26-man payrolls of 3 teams. Also give the Dodgers credit for pushing forward, especially at that luxury tax hit. They're eager to maintain their chokehold on the NL West, as they can see an eager challenger in the distance. Ironically, it's to the south of them. There's no contest, and this franchise the title of offseason champions. Unlike their 2015 foray into offseason splurging, there was a legitimate case to adding to this group. The talent that's arrived onto the scene and is still on the way is awe-inspiring. Thought going for Machado and Hosmer was big? Try this on for size. A massively infused pitching staff. Blake Snow, Yu Darvish, and Joe Musgrove for the rotation. Mark Melancon and Keone Keller for the bullpen. One of South Korea's brightest talents in Hashong Kim for the infield.
Damn, I never heard of
This team
him.
is loaded, and they have one goal in mind. Beat LA. They are the only thing stopping them from a World Series run. They'll do
Damn.
anything to get revenge for seasons past.
Oh, yeah.
The
Practice.
Padres
Oh, yeah.
realize they can only fight fire with fire. And this is why you get this
Oh, yeah, he
smorgasbord of
batted that
talents and
thing.
money. I don't know how they can one-up all this goodness.
But that boy clean.
My succulent, tender Jesus.
That boy clean.
Okay. I expected you to trade off assets to capitalize on the strong performances of a few players, but you didn't do that. You added to this team? With more dudes in their early 30s? I get it. Tommy La Stella is a good ball player, but bringing in guys like Alex Wood and Anthony Desclafani to the rotation? I'm sorry, I don't get it. I felt San Francisco had a golden opportunity to sell high, but either the market wasn't there for them or they chose to hold serve. The Giants are in the same spot as Arizona is. They're in a de facto no man's land where they have no clear-cut option on where to head in the future. I still have confidence that Saidi will do the right thing for the club in the end, but it may result in a bit of a sell-off come July. Don't say I didn't warn you. The thing with the divisions this time is that it's full of disparity.
Yes,
Some
sir.
are cut and dry, the others are pretty much anyone's guess. The AL East is intriguing, but I think it goes to the Yankees. The Central, it's a coin flip, and I'm going to say the White Sox will pull through in the end.
Ooh.
The AL West, don't hate me, but I'm still going with the Astros.
Ooh.
As for wild cards, I'm going to claim them
Astros
for the
can probably
Rays
get
and
it, maybe.
Twins at this point in time. The NL East is going to be brutal, and I believe the Mets can finally end their curse here. The NL Central is a shit show, but the Cardinals will find their way out of the muck. The West is Dodger territory. Sorry, San Diego. You do get the top wildcard spot, though. The second
Damn.
one, I'm going to go with the Phillies. I like what they did with the bullpen, but it's anyone's game. All I can hope for is a good season and no work stoppages in the future. Play ball. Hopefully for a while.
Anyways, man, make sure you comment and subscribe. I love you guys. Stay swag. That road to 10K. See you guys in the